Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Candidly Speaking with Chelle and Kelle. I'm Kelle.
And I am Chelle, and we are so thrilled to have you with us tonight. If you are watching live, please let us know that you're here and speak up in the comments. Let us know your name, where you're from. We would love to hear from you. Or if you're watching the replay, and I have a feeling we're going to have lots of replay watchers for tonight's show, please still speak up, put your name in the comments, hashtag replay, because we would love to know that you are here.
And we do our best to respond to each and every one of you. So
we do. And please subscribe and share. You can get to our Facebook page that is called Candidly Speaking with Chelle and Kelle, or we have a YouTube channel by the same name. And we would love to have subscribers there, guys. We've got, a few diehard
subscribers, please.
But we need more subscribers. So please help us out with that. So you doing okay, Kelle? I'm so glad that you're back. I'm so glad that you're feeling well.
Oh man, that was a roller coaster ride. Let me tell you.
Yeah, bless your heart. So
I was actually in Clubhouse, that new rage that's going on, in a room describing my symptoms because I think I got everything that other than the tube down my throat to breathe.
You were a hit girl.
Everything else. But oh god, I feel so much better. Oh. So and I miss being here. I think I watched you guys, from my phone, from my bed. But when you interviewed Randy, which I love Randy.
Gosh, well, sure.
We'll have to bring him back so I can give him a hard time.
We will, so we can both have at him.
Okay, let's get some housework out of the way. Our show is proudly sponsored by Cards That Wow. I can learn how to do that.
There. Pardon me.
If you want to make a huge if you want to make a great impression and have your brand stick out in your client's mind, send them a note card from Cards That Wow, because when they open the envelope, they actually say wow. And Blue Sky Video Productions. Blue Sky Video Productions is Bruce Himmelblau. He is our producer, and he's the one that works all this magic and makes our job so easy. So if you need a YouTube strategist or someone to produce your show, he's your man.
He is, and he has fantastic hair, as does tonight's guest.
I noticed that.
We are so thrilled, y'all, and we know that he is bringing his tribe tonight. So again, we're so glad that all of you are here with us, and we would love to welcome to the show the incomparable Michael Ray and Maddie Moo. Hey, guys.
Hey, look at there. You're on TV, girl.
We are. And we forgot to tell you about our jazzy music that we have.
I know, we all
enjoy that.
Oh, we're just dancing, kicking it.
You know something? It's that kind of groove. It really is.
She enjoyed
it. Michael and Maddie, I have been looking forward to this since we spoke. For those of you who don't know, Michael is in Louisville. Michael and Maddie are in Louisville. I'm in Louisville. So I'd been telling Kellen and Bruce that I've kind of been fangirling on y'all just a little bit. I feel like I know you because I just watch, your I want to say shenanigans, but it's not some of it's shenanigans, but it's such a purpose, and just what you do is amazing. So tell us your story.
Well, hot damn. Tell our story, right? Do I have a story? I mean, that's like going in an interview and they go, tell me about yourself.
Yeah. Well,
it's like, where in the hell do I start? Because you can go anywhere and everywhere. Look, I am blessed with 4 amazing children. one sitting to my left. The journey for this just took years to evolve. What was always present was the relationship with her. And as I went through what so many people go through in life, which are the challenges and hardships in those speed bumps, really the one constant that I always had was my daughter, Maddie. And it was the love that she always showed through a smile. But as I evolved as a man and a father, it took me intersecting at a Wendy's drive-through with an absolutely complete stranger. As I tell people, one of the fundamental reasons why we make people smile is because we don't know what strangers are carrying in their heads and hearts as they navigate their daily lives.
Yep.
So a lot of times we react and do things never knowing what the other person is going through. And for me in that Wendy's drive-through that morning, it was what I was having to process of having an awful morning in the office. So I escaped to get my 2 chilies, never thinking that running into Chantrell would be so energetic, so loving, make me laugh and smile in just that very short interaction. And look, we all do it. We all roll through drive-throughs. Some are more fun than others. But for me, it was a moment in which it took time, I guess, in some form or fashion to marinate. I say now it was probably my God moment in which God was speaking to me and really understanding where I was going to go with it. So I knew the gravity of the situation, but had no idea that I'm going to all of a sudden, wanting to take it to the next level and create the change that I wanted to continue to see in my life to also on some level, inspire and impact the lives of total strangers. Because when you start on this journey, you're just one human being. And it really was trying to make an impact in Louisville, just in our city. So that's kind of how it started.
Okay. Maddie,
What do you think, girl? Huh?
can you show everybody your nails? I was really
Oh,
jealous.
she is a giant fan of having her nails did.
I'm with you, Maddie. I'm with you.
Right? You're on TV, huh? So yeah, it's a thing that look, I would like it to. I used to be able to take the street credit because I used to actually take her to a nail salon. And now my loving girlfriend Molly actually has kind of taken over and doing it. So I'm grateful for that. But it's something that we treat her like a princess.
Well, sure.
As you should.
As you should. So tell us about Smile Project Louisville. How did that start?
So you fast forward a little bit after a drive-through, and I actually let me take one step back. When that situation happened, I pulled over and parked because, again, like I said, that was my epiphany and my God moment, and I started crying, and I did not know what God wanted from me in that moment, but I chose to get out of the car, and I laugh about it now, where it is a little creepy to be the dude who walks up to the drive-through window because that's kind of like this no-no. But I did, and of course, as I did, I didn't know what to say or think or do. But of course, that person's reaction when you're the drive-through worker is, "Sir, what's wrong?" And that was the beauty of the moment, is nothing was wrong. I just wanted to thank her for what it meant to me. And I didn't know why in the moment. I took my picture with her. I said I wanted to remember it. And I asked her if I could take my picture with her, and she said yes. So a few days went by, and then I found myself in the gym. And it was like one of those other moments where I was chatting with Will. Will's 14. He has Down syndrome. I found myself laughing with a complete stranger. So you forget about life. You forget about anything that we have in our head. And then the same thing happened. I said, "Will, can I take my picture with you, buddy?" And I did. And then a couple of more days go by, and then I'm in the vitamin shop. And I won't forget the first handful that I took, and it was Ryan. And this kept going on until the point where I had gone several weeks taking pictures with random strangers. And I'm like, what in the hell? What am I doing? But what I found in doing is that in these very short interactions with strangers, again, 3, 4, 5 minutes, we found a way to smile, to laugh, to hug, to high five, whatever it was, that I think we both left feeling much better about the day, life, everything in general. So I started changing as I started interacting with people, taking pictures still. As I started sharing them to social media, I started asking them what was amazing about them. So not only I would say, hey, this is Will at the gym, I could tell you what was amazing about Will. So again, people started talking about what was really good in their life and where they felt, they had this amazing presence. This went on for probably about 6 weeks. And then I was like, okay, I've got all these pictures now. What am I doing? Where is this going? So came up with the name Smile Project Louisville. My daughter Hannah helped me, put together a logo. I created a Facebook page. I really had no presence on Instagram. I was like, all right, I'll start sharing them there. And that's really for the next 14, 15 months, it's all it was. Is I was taking these random pictures with strangers all over the city, or if I would travel somewhere, I did it on the road. And I kept finding, as I then befriended these people on social media, starting to learn more about them and their stories and the challenges and things that they were going through in their life. And more often than not, I was always convinced I was in the right place at the right time. And I never knew the who, the where, the what, the when, the why the picture would take place, because it wasn't like, okay, it's Tuesday. I haven't taken a picture in 3 days. I got to roll out and find somebody. It was just wherever I was kind of navigating, and I felt it, in that moment. So we did that, for about the first year and a half until I want to say I had my second epiphany, and that was late summer last year. I won't forget it. I got out of bed. I was taking steps towards the bathroom, and I stopped and I was like, if I'm really trying to make the world smile through pictures, how does that look if I went and did a random act of kindness to a total stranger? So, we're August of 2019, and we kind of, when I say we, just a handful of us, really talked about it. And where would we go? What would we do? Oh my God, we're going to video it. What am I going to say? So we chose, and Chelle, you'll know this, but it was 28th and Broadway. And for people listening tonight, don't know where it is. I mean, imagine a grocery store in the inner city. And where we chose that is because we wanted to find somebody of need. Really, if we were going to give them something of value, we wanted to find somebody who really, truly, on some level, needed it. But I won't forget, we walked into Kroger's that morning, and we were like, we had a $50 gift card to give away. And like, who are we going to give it? So then the dilemma now, who we're going to give it to? And we walked the aisles. We saw what appeared to be two single moms, and in that debate of who deserved it more than the other. Yeah. But we walked down the aisle. We gave it to her. And then it was an amazing moment. And, I always say about kindness and love is the person doing it also feels it, because I still needed to feel that in my life. But what was amazing about it, when you chose the right person, it took her 3 weeks to send me a message. And she said, I just want to thank you. I can't tell you how much it meant to me and my two boys. We were living from house to house, struggling to find ways to put food on the table. And it was as if God delivered an angel that day. Those were her words. So that I was like, wow, okay, we got it right. We got it right. So, then it's like, okay, where are we going to go next? And the first, maybe 5 or 6 were very deliberate in that we went to places around town to find people that had need. But as we started sharing these things on social media, and I didn't have a presence on LinkedIn at this point. I wasn't putting anything on LinkedIn. It was Facebook and Instagram, locally. But then people started reaching out going, well, how do you find who you're going to go make smile and be kind to? What if I knew somebody? And they then started telling me the stories of people and what people were going through in life, into where they just needed to feel loved. And I won't forget it. One of my first situations. So we did this for a few months, and I've done so many now. I hate this. Some of the names escape me, but I won't forget. It was a third grade teacher. She was like 28 years old, and she was battling stage 3 colon cancer. And we went into the room. Her students are all there. These kids are 9, 10 years old. And we made her smile because that school was so moved by the fact that she's battling for her life at 28. She's coming to school every day, so positive, and that's when really for the first time it kind of dawned on me that we make people smile because life is hard. It's not easy. And for some people, we don't know why, they just have it hard. They go through what I say is just the shit show. They go through more shit in life than other people do. So sometimes they just need that pick me up. And really what I try to recreate in every situation is how I felt at Wendy's for what we do, but it just continued to evolve. And I got late last year, and that's really when my LinkedIn journey started. And I started sharing, what Maddie and I were doing on LinkedIn, never thinking that it would kind of grow into what it's become today. And of course, when you have COVID, it's like, holy shit, what do we do now? I mean, we can't stop. We got to figure out creative ways.
But you did. You figured it out.
We did. So the first thing we did is we went and bought 50 yellow balloons, and we tied them on nurses' cars behind a hospital. And what was amazing about that story was, as we did it, and we left little notes of inspiration and thanking them for what they're doing, people on the 4th floor of that hospital saw us. They didn't know who we were and what we were doing, and they took pictures of us.
Yeah.
And then once we posted it, they realized who we were, and they started sharing the pictures of us in the parking lot, putting balloons on cars. And then we had an 86-year-old lady who was celebrating her birthday. And I was like, oh my God, I can't get near. What am I going to do? I went and bought a 10-foot pole. I said, look, they say 6 feet. And I was like, okay, we wouldn't touch somebody with a 10-foot pole. I'm going to make sure the free world knows I have a 10-foot pole, so I'm not getting close to grandma. And then we had a priest who celebrated 50 years in the priesthood in his 77th birthday. And I went and bought this giant this clear plastic drop cloth, because he's a hugger and I am too. And when we did something for him, I had to hug him. So I was like, look, we're going to do it safely. So I dropped this big old sheet of plastic on it, brought it in, and we had this amazing, warm embrace. So we've tried to, even through such challenges for everybody, continue to do what we do.
Wow.
I am so glad. And you know something, Michael, when you were speaking a few moments ago about going through the Kroger, and I'm familiar with where you were, I've said on here before, I am very strong in my faith, and I have absolutely no doubt that you were put right in the path, as you so frequently are, right in the path of the person who needs you. And you're talking about the nurses or the other individuals looking out the window at you. Not only are you blessing those who you're giving the balloons to, but look how everybody smiles at something like that.
A lot of times, and it hit me. It didn't fully hit me until the middle of February of this year. And I was doing, and you'll know this person, Chelle. I was sitting in studio with Terry Miners, who is a larger than life radio here in town and has been forever and a day.
Forever.
And I was sitting in the studio with him doing an interview. And it really hit me for the first time. Most people who want to create the change in their life and others' lives don't do it because they don't believe that they can create that change. I'm just one
right.
human being,
That's
just
right.
one person. So therefore, a lot of times we climb in our minds and we don't do it. And it hit me in that moment, the power of one. And it goes back just to the simplicity of, we've all heard the story, you throw a damn pebble in a pond, it's a ripple effect.
Right.
But it is what it is, because I have received hundreds of messages. And a lot of times they're the ones who are silent, who have followed me for a long time, but have never engaged with me, never have commented on a piece of content, anything we've done, who then send me a private message and tell me where they are in life and what they're going through and what it has meant to them. So anybody listening, the power of one is amazing, because I say it multiplies, multiplicity, more of Michael Keaton is good.
Right. Right.
Not everybody will get that, but it is. And when you go back to the power of God, I just have seen too much in this journey to know that I'm always in front of the right people.
Yeah. Right place, right time. Right
Yeah,
person.
the right place at the right time. Whether it was a picture, and look, I've done so many things behind the scenes that are not video, that are not pictures. And I'm not tooting my horn. I'm just trying to tell people it's just the simple things and how we carry ourselves when we interact with strangers that we just don't know. So all those small things, whether it's a smile, a laugh, doing something kind, a fist bump, a high five, a hug, no matter what it is, they make a difference.
Absolutely. Well, I am so thankful and so grateful that you truly followed your heart, that you did what you knew you were supposed to do. And we've discussed this on here before, when we were talking about the coat drive.
I was
So
just
many
thinking that.
times, yeah, so many times people say, well, that's a great idea. I wish hopefully somebody will do that. Just do it.
Just
Be
do
the
it.
person.
Be the person.
change. That's
Yeah.
right.
Be Maverick. Call the ball.
That's
Just take
right.
control and do it, because
That's
again,
right.
the impact it will have in someone's life.
Well,
You
and
know.
I don't even know, Michael, if you realize, I have watched you. I guess I started following you on LinkedIn probably about a year ago. And when I was discussing you with Kellen, I said he's local celebrity, but makes
Right.
such a difference. And I've watched you for a year, never had conversation with you at all until last week. I liked some of your posts and occasionally
Yeah.
would comment. But I told Kellen, I said, I feel like I know him, because and so it does not surprise me in the least that you have people maybe who followed you for months, who feel like then that they can send you a private message and tell you what's on their heart.
I mean, I
That's
had
why
a
you're
dude
approachable.
just a few weeks ago. I knew his name because he engages all the time. But look, a lot of times when you have 100, 200, 300, 400 comments, I always want to be, as you said earlier too, I like to be the guy that fully engages with my community, because I believe in building the relationships.
Mhm.
And these are why these things happen. But his name was William Dean in St. Louis. And he sent me a message, a private message one morning, and just said, I want to thank you for helping me get through a very challenging time recently. My wife of 38 years just died last night. And I want you to know what you meant to me along this journey. And I just started bawling. I mean, how do you process that?
Yeah.
I mean, and I did. I immediately started crying. I couldn't control myself. And then I started videoing myself, because it's okay. Before really about 2006, I was a man who didn't cry. I was taught differently. And then as my world changed, I cannot control not crying now. So whatever God puts on my heart, generally speaking, if it's too much, I immediately start crying.
But I remember that day vividly. I remember that post on LinkedIn, that video. I remember you were sitting in your car, and I remember tearing up.
Yeah.
Just you know, just the
And you
love
know what?
that
I
you're
do it
putting out
because
there.
people need to know it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay because life's hard,
Yes.
and that sometimes we need a good cry. That's all right. We're human beings.
Right.
So, and people are not going to judge you for it. But,
No. No. I think people probably have a greater, they feel that connection with you, have a greater, feel more connected to you because you are real, and we're all that way. But we're so guarded. We're
Mhm.
so guarded.
but
I
you
have
know
to
what?
be
And we
perfect all
are.
the time.
And that's why I try to tell people, if you choose to post on LinkedIn, when I first started on this journey, I told myself, I'm going to be me. There's not going to be any comfort zones. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be transparent. Um, and just do those things, because a lot of times, not a lot of times, every time we do a video, there's only one take. You only get one opportunity when you go in front of a stranger to show them love and kindness, and create that impact in that moment in their life. I have about a 10-12 second prayer I say right before it, every time we do it, and like, God, put the right words in my mouth, because it is what it is. It's like we're going live, you
Yeah.
know, and I don't edit, people, they get what they see. That's what happens. And I never know, because I've done so many of them now. I don't know how people are going to respond. They laugh, they cry, they hug, they kiss, they do everything. And that's okay, because we're all different.
Yeah.
And then to
It's
be
so
able to
funny.
capture that spontaneous moment of when you give that gift. I mean, you can't. Okay, wait. Can we have that reaction one more time?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of the one shot.
And it is that with COVID, it's been hard. When things loosened up a little bit in the summertime, we haven't done a single thing inside. So as we set these up, and I often say, when I'm working with someone behind the scenes, to do it as I say, we go stealth under a veil of secrecy. No one's ever known we're coming. When so when you do that, you don't know what you truly are going to get, and that's okay. But with COVID, it's been hard, because when somebody's 6-8 feet from you, and we just did something over the holidays called Operation Saving Santa. I dressed up as an elf. Maddie went out with me on a lot of them,
It was adorable.
and we went around to bless restaurant workers. And what do you do when you've got this single mother of two, 6 feet from you, crying because you just handed her $300 because she hadn't worked? Sometimes my filter kicks in and I stay away. Other times, I can't, and I just, okay, bring it in, girl. And we'll try as safely as we can to hug, because, and I guess in that moment I feel the tap on the shoulder, and it's God pushing me, going, no, I'm going to keep you all safe. Just get up.
Like, love
That
it.
lady there
Okay.
had
Good.
battled breast cancer, and
I remember
even
that.
this fall had COVID.
Oh man.
And what I didn't know until I got there is she had already followed me on Facebook. She knew immediately.
Ain't it funny?
She goes, "Oh my God, I know you."
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, everybody in Louisville does.
No, I'm just recognizable, and it hit me before COVID. So last fall we had several news stories done on us, and then it seemed like early this year, you walk into Starbucks, and usually what they say is, "Oh my God, wait, you're that Smile guy."
Yeah.
I got to the point I didn't know how to respond to praise. It's easy a lot of times to do it through social media, because you're not face to face within 2-3 feet of a human being, when they just think you're the greatest thing going. And I'm just like, no, I'm just a dude who's a dad who, there's Chantrell.
Oh.
Yeah, she was Abby. at Smooth. An amazing story about that girl. So I was in Kroger's in the Highlands in the city. And again, I go back to what I said earlier about these simple things we can do to create this spark in someone's life. And I was fascinated because I walked in there and I'm like, holy shit, they got monitors. And I started laughing at myself. And I was like, look, I'm on TV. And then LaVonda, who is the person that works the self-checkout, looking at me and she goes, sir, do you need help? And I started laughing. I was like, hell yes, I need a lot of help. So she walks over. So as she walks over, I put my arm around her and I said, look, we're on TV. I said, look up, we're on TV. And she started laughing. And we really had not been doing random acts of kindness. So I got her name. I told her what I did. She thanked me. We connected on social media. And then as we started doing them, because we were together on Facebook, she had posted something. I was in the gym. I won't forget it. I was in the gym working out and she had posted something and I sent her a private message and I was like, girl, what's wrong? She said, I lost my job. And I said, how can we help? And literally not even days before, somebody had given me a gift card and said, you'll know who to give it to. And then when she lost her job, I said, where you at? I said, we got something for you. So I immediately drove down to the West End that night. I met LaVonda, hugged it out again. We did something for her, never knowing then when they did the news stories, she ended up being on TV because they showed that picture and then they showed the interaction that we had, when I went down there that night. But again, just the simplicity of being, on a video monitor with an absolute stranger. Yes. All of a sudden there she is right there. Yeah.
Oh, it's just, it's so heartwarming to watch. And, there have been days, like I said, I usually check LinkedIn in the morning and that's when I'll see your stuff. And, I think I'm in a pretty good mood most of the time, but sometimes you're just and I watch your encounters, your adventures with these individuals, and it just always it never fails to bring a smile, which it's working. What you're doing works. So
I think people, and again, I go back to that Wendy's where I tell people all I'm trying to do is recreate how I felt at that Wendy's. So they get, a lot of times just 2 minutes of what's good in this world. And maybe it can take them away from what they're going through to where they can laugh, smile, feel good about humanity, wherever they are, it can just put them in the right place. And I've done countless podcasts now, hundreds probably. And I got to the point to where one of the most reoccurring questions I got asked is, it took me back to the Wendy's. What in the hell did Chantrell say to you that day that made that impression on you? And I have no clue. I have no clue. But about a year ago, as we often do, we see so many quotes that inspire us. We read hundreds, if not thousands, in our lifetime. But when I read it, I understood what I was doing and what Chantrell made to me. And that's what Maya Angelou said. People will forget what you did. They will forget what you said. They won't forget how you made them feel.
That's right.
And that, this day, I don't know what Chantrell said at Wendy's. I do, in my heart, know how she made me feel. And that's how I try to look at it. Every time it's a video, it's a fist bump, a high five. It's choosing at Kroger's to look the person in the eye and see the name tag and go, Brianna, what's up, girl? And give her a fist bump. It's just those small things that sometimes make that small difference. It's how then we make them feel.
Exactly.
Right.
Let's talk about how it makes you feel, because Michelle and I and Eric from our group, we all talked about when we got these coats that we may have been giving the gift, but we were the ones that got the gift because it
Right.
felt good to help. And
I get it. I get it every time.
I can only
I get it
imagine.
every time.
Absolutely.
I get it every time. And I still at times, when I may repurpose something from a year ago that 90% of people haven't seen, I'll take a snippet from it and I watch and cry because I know in that moment what it meant. And in a lot of cases, there's feedback. I mean, I did one recently for a guy who turned 87, and he mailed me a handwritten letter in what it meant. And I did one over the summer, and these are these strange connections that you can't look at it any other way but God, because the guy followed me on LinkedIn for about 6 months, lives in Corpus Christi, Texas. His son had moved here 2 years ago and was driving down 71, one of the interstates here in late July, and had an awful car accident, was in a coma. But you know what? He knew me. He's like, my God, I know that dude in Louisville. I follow him on LinkedIn. He reaches out to me. And then this is the stuff you can't make up. We grew up 10 minutes from each other in Cleveland.
Wow.
He lived just down the road, and he was in law enforcement. My father was in law enforcement. And turns out they knew some of the same people from back in the 80s. And I'm like, this you can't make this up. So how this is intersected. So when I watch a lot of this stuff, what's funny is I cry when she watches herself, nothing but laughter. She just sits there and laughs the whole time. Don't you? Huh? Yeah, laughs the whole time.
That's amazing. You are so inspirational.
You are. Yeah, and there was a question. Bruce, I don't know if you can put that back up there. Here we go. Love the innovative ways that you find to make people feel special. I do too. Are there others that give you ideas, or do you just come up with these on your own, Michael?
It's both. I'll give you, a couple of, examples. One we did a couple of months ago, Maddie and I were in the car. We frequent Wendy's because Maddie is a connoisseur of Frosties. Oh. She absolutely loves Frosties. So a lot of time it's her treat. So we as I pulled up to the speaker, I won't forget it. Her name was Patricia. She just started giving me her personality. I just started laughing and I said, oh, girl, you have no idea what's in store. And we were already cutting it up. And she goes, God, I just love you. And I'm like, I turned to Maddie as we pulled away. I said, hey, you want to do something for her? And she goes, yeah. So as I pulled up to the window, we immediately just did a random thing because it was this connection with Patricia there where it was a complete stranger. She couldn't even see me, but yet she tells me she loves me. So we do it. And I've made it a habit now of going back to my roots and trying to ask people again what was amazing about them. And as I asked Patricia, she's like, I just love my job. I love working at Wendy's. And that I felt was an amazing perspective because a lot of people, a lot of times when they work jobs like that, they hate their lives. I hate what I'm doing, but to sit there and cut it up and laugh and smile and tell me she loves her job at Wendy's means she loves people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, I mean, that's one example. And as I stated earlier, a lot of these are because the community reach out to us. And they either go to my website or they send messages and things, and then they tell me about what someone is going through, in life, and why they in that moment need to feel loved and maybe laugh and smile and take their minds off, everything. So it really has evolved. So most of what we do is that, but I have impromptu driving through a subdivision and saw a garbage man and stopped real quick and just get out and start filming. And, again, getting them to talk about themselves too. and done something for people, because, you know, a lot of times it's these thankless things that we do in life. We're not appreciated. You know, people who go through so much, again, that just need to feel good.
Okay. We had another question from Zach. Hey, Zach. What is something that a stranger did for each of you? Is that each of us? That we always remember that made us smile. I have one. Kellen, you go first.
I have one too.
Okay. I knew you would.
I was part of a Write That Book course, and it was a 5-day pop-up, and I really enjoyed it, but I never got any input, so I didn't think I was any good at it. But when it was time to pay for the master class, I just thought, well, you know, I better not. Well, somebody gave me a full scholarship and paid my way through that class. Yeah.
That's pretty
Felt good.
Yeah.
Well, I felt wrong yet.
And I'm going to have a book in 3 months. So
She is.
I can't write.
She's on fire.
Anybody, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Me neither. Me neither.
Oh, I have a tool that will turn your videos into words, so you don't have to write.
I need a tool, all right.
But that touched me. Like, I'm like, somebody, you know, believed in me so much that I mean, it was not cheap. It was not a cheap gift or scholarship. So, that made my heart happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Michael,
Chelle?
what about you? Oh, me? Okay. Well, mine is very, very different from that. Mine is going to take us back to University of Louisville campus. I know that's where you went, Michael. And okay, I'm going to really age myself here, but I've disclosed that before here to our audience. The year's probably 1988, 87 maybe. So I got a lot of hair. Okay. 1987.
Was it bigger?
Oh, so much bigger. I mean,
It wouldn't fit in this screen.
it would not fit in this frame. It wouldn't.
That was so 1980s. Okay.
Oh my goodness. I rocked that stuff. Anyway.
Low Valley girl.
Oh, totally. So I was standing at okay, you know when you come out of like the School of Business and you're right there and you're going to cross.
I mean, I know that area is like the back of my hand. Yes.
Yeah, you're going to cross right there at the Playhouse and you're going to go over.
I know exactly. And so I'm coming out on 3rd Street almost, or 2nd. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So go Kyle. That's where I was going. And standing there, it was absolutely pouring down rain. It could not have rained any harder if it had tried. And somebody stopped at that light and handed me an umbrella. The light turned green and they drove away.
Oh my gosh.
That's a little, I mean,
that's beautiful.
That meant the world to me. I mean, I remember it. I don't want to talk about, well, y'all can do the math. You know how long ago that was. But I bring up the hair because I was just a wet mess, you know, sticky, covered in Aquanet, you know. But how sweet was that? And I don't know, maybe they had a back seat full of umbrellas and that's just the thing that they did. That's awesome. Maybe that was their only umbrella and they said, well, this poor thing needs it worse than I do. I don't know. All I know is that person handed me an umbrella, didn't say a word, and drove away. That's cool. You know.
How cool is that?
That's really cool. Yeah. Really cool. So
Zach.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you.
What's up, Brad?
Michael, let's hear yours. And also, I want to say, though, you're talking about Chantrell, and we had talked about how you are put in the path of those you need to touch. You and Chantrell, that was meant to be. That was providence. You were.
We tried. Once we started doing random acts of kindness, we reached out to Wendy's because one of the ones we wanted to do. But of course, then again, like I said, you're fast forwarding now like 15, 16 months or so. She wasn't working there anymore. The last they had heard, she moved out of state and didn't know where she was. But we were wanting to. So it wasn't her, but we did go back. When we then asked a couple of the restaurants, was there anybody we could? And there was somebody that was battling a lot in life. a lot in life. So we went back and did it for her. And it was an amazing moment where she, this is what I tell people a lot too, because we don't know at what point to stop filming. And a lot of times we cut it off. And there are a lot of times that once it's over, people are trying to process what just happened.
Mhm.
And then they break down. They break down crying because the gravity of the moment where an absolutely complete stranger, and in a lot of cases, they don't know who told us about them to where we wanted to do something. It hits them, and it's hard not crying,
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
for me, I'll give you two, and I'm only going to give you two because I guess they're different in different parts of my life. But for me, the people who privately send me messages, um, who talk about their journey in what, either it's me or both Maddie and I in what we do represents to them. Um, I have a lot of private moments. And I do at times, I will say, my mom is an amazing woman of faith. I'll take screenshots, no names, and just share what people talk about on their journey, um, to let people know, what we're doing. So again, a lot of it for me is the messages, but I won't forget, in the ups and downs I've had in life, I used to have a pretty good career and it fell apart. And then I guess I'm going back now 7, 8 years ago. And a lot of people don't know this part of the story in which, so I guess you could rewind. I'm 51 now. I was probably 43, 44. I was living with my parents, as a father of four. And I barely had 2 nickels to rub together. And I was delivering pizzas full time. And a buddy asked me to meet him for lunch one day. We went to Olive Garden. And at the very end, he said, instead of tithing this month at church, God told me to give you this.
Wow.
And just passed the check across the table. And it was one of those moments in which I can't, I can't take this. There's no way. But yet you figure it out, you do. But, it's that random act of kindness that, and he lives in Valley Station. He lives in your neck of the woods, or we're near PRP. But it was one of those moments in which, we'd been casual acquaintances in the mortgage industry for a long time. And, it's God at work. There's no other way to look at it.
Absolutely. Wow. Wow. And now, I mean, now you're giving back to so many, and it just the look on the faces. When you walk up, especially if you're dressed up like an elf, but when you walk up to somebody, and there's this look of bewilderment, or they're like, who is this
Fear,
guy? What's he doing? I'm just trying
fear.
to I'm just trying to be admired, doing my shopping or whatever. And then you bless them, you know and then just seeing the emotion on there. I mean, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, just talking about it. But I
It's,
don't know if
it is.
you guys
It's an
feel
amazing moment for all of us.
like
And a lot of people don't know this, but my girlfriend films 90% of it. So she's on the other side of the camera, and as I don't know how many we've done now, 150, 200, whatever the math is, but we've done so many that she's on the other end witnessing, all of it. And I'm a wild card too, because I never know what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, again, I really don't have any filters, comfort zones. I enjoy getting weird. I enjoy embedding people and making them feel good, whether I walk into a crowded Cracker Barrel because we called ahead and we asked the manager who for the kindest person in the whole place was. So we got there, we interrupted everybody's meal, and we made her feel good, and she started crying. But in that moment, then, when she's going through something in life, she feels loved, you know.
wow.
How do we help Smile?
Well, this is not done in my pocketbooks.
Right.
It's done off of the generosity of people opening their hearts. And never realizing that it's just become on some level a giant pay it forward movement. But with that, said, things that we worry about on this end and trying to do not only this but more is just sustainability. When you commit to this and you don't commit to this just half-ass, and you're putting a lot of hours in building relationships and looking to make an impact and inspire, what my end goal is to be able to do more, because sometimes it's just not enough. And I think where it hit me for the first time is about a year ago. I got asked to go make a mother who 3 months before had lost her 14-year-old daughter. She had a seizure. Go make her smile. They had 6 kids and they were struggling financially, so much so they couldn't afford a tombstone. And I think that's for the first time it really hit me, look, we love giving away $50 and $100, but there are times that doesn't get it done. When people's need for circumstances are different. And again, Operation Saving Santa this year was one of those situations, and off the generosity of the community and LinkedIn, we raised about $2,000. So be able to hand people $300-$400 who are struggling to provide for people. So again, it just comes off of the hearts of others. And I think it first hit me when we had our first board meeting back in early March, right before COVID. And I was never asking people just randomly, and then now getting to the point that it's okay to ask people to open their wallets and help us to continue to do what we're doing. And, thinking that with LinkedIn, we don't do this just in Louisville. We have much bigger plans, and we've left here and we've gone to Cincinnati. We've gone to Nashville. When I was in Florida, I did it. So when we've gone to different places, we've done some things elsewhere. And as I've built relationships with people, we want to do this all over. That's so amazing. It comes off of the heels of people who are willing on, in some form or fashion to help.
Spreading the love. Well, and I think one of the things that I've been thinking about as you've been speaking, Michael, and I've been listening to you, is maybe we're not all in the situation or where we can do what you do. Maybe we're not all going to go out and video and
sure.
But you know what we can do? First of all, I feel like you're an ambassador for all of us, but we can smile at someone. We can just be nice.
And Chelle, you know what? You nailed it. And that's what I try to tell people is that look, you see it. But what I'm trying to tell you to do are do all of those things that are free. That it's not always about handing somebody $10 or buying the chicken sandwich or the coffee or whatever. I mean, yeah, those things are nice. I'm not going to tell you not do that. But again, it's just a simplicity of when we run by strangers in our life, how we choose to act or react to people. Right. That can make a difference.
Yeah, it's our decision. It's our decision. It's a choice. It's a choice. Okay. Totally different.
One more thing. I'm like, I am so excited. So, a lot of people think, well, I only have $5. I only have $10. But if they give $10,
I've had all of that given.
That's what I mean. Like if 10 people gave $10 today, you'd have $100. You could do something.
And what's funny is I had that recently. When I say recently, now I'm going back. It might have been September, October. And this lady lives in Utah, and I've gotten better about when I post things on LinkedIn, just asking. I'm like, look, if you would love to support the work we do, here's where you can do it. And she then commented and said, hey, I'm going to give $10. And I challenge everybody in here to give $10. And you know what? All of a sudden in like 2 days, I had like $200 to people that were just from that single thing from one person saying, hey, and that's the beauty of it is we're all in different places. We can all write different books. God doesn't look at us any differently when what we have on our hearts, whether it's the lady giving $1 in church, or the person getting 1,000 because he knows where we are in our life.
Right.
You
Hey,
know,
the
so
widow's
if
mite.
that's what they can give,
Absolutely.
that's the beauty of it. And it all adds up and gives us an opportunity to go bless someone else.
Right.
Well, and $5 may seem like nothing to you or somebody else, but that $5 added to what everybody else is giving makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
And I'll be quick. I walked out of my birthday, August 17th. We were downtown, and this brother smiled at me, and I said, "That's my man." Again, it just hit me, and I walked down to him, and we just started chopping it up, and we started laughing and smiling and all that. And my girlfriend saw the connection we had, and she started videoing. I shared it to LinkedIn, and you know what? Nate's homeless, and I had a guy in England said, "I love that dude. I'm going to Western Union you $100. Can you go find that man?"
Oh my gosh.
So if we don't, and and occasionally, it's not often anymore, somebody will go, "Well, why do you video yourself doing it?" We do it to inspire and impact the lives of others. I've said it countless times here. You know what? My man in London wouldn't have sent me $100 for Nate. And when we went
Right.
back 2 weeks later to give Nate $100, it was a king's ransom.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then we volunteered a couple weeks later with some homeless people. He ended up showing up, and he's like, "Man, I went out and bought a watch. I bought some pants." And it's like, now you can't tell me that's not God at work.
That's right.
And why not share it? I mean, the gift is when we get to watch you do all this and see these wonderful reactions.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Every view.
Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted you, Michelle.
Well, that was so much more important and significant than my comments. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh, but yes, it really was, because I'm going to ask Michael and Maddie. Okay. Now, particularly though, I've noticed, I guess maybe since COVID, your hair's gotten a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It has. And you know what? Most people don't realize, and I did this for probably the better part of 25 years. I would shave my head. Now, when I say shave, it wasn't a straight edge, but I took shears and
pruning shears.
No, it was manscaping. So it was literally like 2.5 people, maybe 3. I'll give her a little bit more street credit than that. She's over in the corner. But my son was like 12, and he goes, "Dad, you're just bald." And I said, "You have no idea, kid." And then my grandmother at the time was 96, and she's like, "Oh my God, you used to have one of the most amazing hair and curls. Before I did, you grow it out." And then my girl Molly, she's like, "I would love to run my fingers through your hair." So I decided then a couple of years ago, but I was trimming it. But then a few months ago, I have let it go. I mean, I have let it go.
I love it.
So yeah, so I'm at that point though now. I'm trying to figure out going, okay, how to manage it. I was never a product guy, because again, when you're shaving, your head once a week, it's nothing. It's like bar of soap on it, go. And then now it's like, holy shit, pomade. And
well,
that's a great segue.
Yeah. Thank you for setting that up so nicely, Michael, because we do have a traditional question that we ask on here, and it has a weird history, but we ask people what type of moisturizer they use. And so I do want to pose that question to you. See if you're a moisturizer, okay, an exfoliating.
So as you heard the laughs, I'm insanely metrosexual. I mean, hardcore. Now, when I say that, I don't moisturize my face because I'm blessed with very good genes. But I do moisturize my hands, my shoulders, my elbows. I might get my boobies. I mean, but I use a lot of stuff from Bath and Body Works in the morning. I'm a big guy. I love lotions. Love them.
Do you have I always call them flavors from Bath and Body.
Well, for the longest time from Bath and Body Works, it was the spa stuff, like eucalyptus spearmint. Because every time I'm like, oh my God, it makes me want to go get a massage. So
yeah. Okay,
But no,
so
yeah.
and then the hair products. That was what I wanted to know. What are you using on the locks?
You know what's funny is I saw this movie last night and it makes me want to go buy this even though I don't use it, and I've used a hodgepodge of things because I don't like the crispy. As I started using stuff, I'm like, oh my God, my hair's too crispy. I like the fact that it's a little shiny for a couple of hours and then it goes natural and then it just kind of fans out and does what it wants to do. But when I saw Oh Brother We're Out There last night, I was like, oh my God, I want some Dapper Dan. I want some Dapper Dan. I don't know
Oh my
why. I want to be a Dapper Dan.
Dapper Dan, man. That's hilarious. Okay, I guess you can still get Dapper Dan. Surely you can.
I'm going to try it. Yeah.
I bet
Yeah,
you can. I bet you can. Especially after that movie. I bet somebody somewhere is going to charge you a lot of money for a little tin of Dapper Dan. So, well, wonderful.
Maybe do a pay it forward $5 day on your Facebook page and see how many people you can get to donate, and then take it and give it away to someone at the end of the day.
And let me just tell you real quick, she lives in Louisville. She actually is down in your neck of the woods, Chelle. She's in the southwest part of the city, but her daughter went to, God, it's on Dixie. I'm trying to think what high school she went to down on Dixie. Huh? No. When I say Dixie, I'm talking about
Valley High School.
I think it may have been Valley. Okay.
I think those are the only two.
They were doing some amazing things with suicide, teen awareness, and everything. And
all that.
And we actually, in wanting to do something for the kids that were making a difference with the seniors in the school, we reached out to Wave. Wave loved the story. Yeah. The next thing you know, we're all on with Don G, and these beautiful kids get to tell what they're doing in school, in the lives that they're, so.
That's
and Danielle's sister Sherry was a DZ at the same time you were at U of L.
A DZ. Okay, that's okay. Chi Omega, go Chi-O. But okay, DZs are good girls. But hey, kudos to Danielle that you are raising a fantastic daughter. So I saw that story.
She does,
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. So, but yeah, I mean, Michael, maybe think about that. Maybe you want to do the little, take Danielle's suggestion, and we would love to help you with that in any way that we can. So, if you want to do a kickoff,
everything works.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Anything else? Anything you want to leave us with?
She said, smile. The two things that I always say is, be the reason someone smiles today. And the one thing that I do know and see, you can be so happy that when others see you, they become happy too. You just can. It's infectious. It's intoxicating. It's just that simple. The simplicity of smiling at a stranger will make them smile.
Yeah.
I'm living proof.
Yeah. And if you don't believe it, try it, because it absolutely works. They are contagious.
Yeah.
So, well Michael,
thank you so much. It was so wonderful to have you here.
I love the Maddie Moo kisses.
Me too.
We always call it blowing sugar, but yeah.
That's right. You get sound effects with her too.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. You have been such an inspiration. Like I said, we have got comments like crazy. Please, like I said, let us know that you're here. If you watch a replay, and I know a gazillion people will do that as well, let us know about that too.
And you know what? I always say this, it's a two-way street, and I'm blessed by the fact that you asked me to be a part of what you're doing. So we thank you. Thank you.
Well, we are just honored and so privileged to have both of you all here. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Check out Smile Project Louisville.com. Check out Michael Ray on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You're probably at you probably can only have followers on LinkedIn now. Is that right? No more connections.
That is correct. Yeah.
I thought you probably were. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Maddie Moo, gorgeous as always.
Say bye.
Aww.
Bye.
Aw, thank you, honey.
And thanks,
guys. God bless.
Thank you, Blue Sky Video Productions and Cards That Wow for making this possible. We'll see you next week. We have Jennifer Moran, you guys are going to love her. Her story
All
is
right.
amazing. Have a great night.
See ya.
Bye, Maddie.